Good morning, Providence family. We're very blessed today that Providence is shining on the university once again in the person of Rick Oberholtz. We have an opportunity today for transformative change for the university, and I'm very excited about this, but I'll leave introduce Father Oliver next to introduce Mr. Oberholtz.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome faculty and staff and all who are joining us via live streaming for an announcement regarding the future of the University of Providence. It is my pleasure, my immense pleasure, to announce that our alumnus, Mr. Rick Oberholtz, who attended the College of Great Falls as it was then in 1970, is establishing a trust which will be called the Van der Werf Nursing Endowment Trust in gratitude for the influence and witness of the Sisters of Providence. Our hope that this trust, valued at $1.5 million, will be designated for the re-establishment of an on-campus nursing program. This program will not only help answer the national shortage of caregivers, or at least our contribution to lessening the shortage, but will also help strengthen our existing liberal arts, healthcare, and science programs. The timing of this initiative, the timing of this generous gift is most opportune. The first program, offered by the Sisters of Providence very shortly after they settled in Great Falls, was established at their first hospital in 1894, and that program was nursing. Here we are, 90 years later, my maths are okay. I don't mean we are 90 years after the first establishment, but that program that was founded in 1894 was what I would call the educational womb from which the College of Great Falls, whose 90th anniversary we are now celebrating, was born. This is a wonderful way of launching our 90th celebration. It is truly a back to the future moment. We are moving forward, thinking and looking back at those essentials that made the College of Great Falls and the Columbus School and Hospital such an important part of this community and the wider Montana community. The proposed on-campus program, once the necessary approvals from the Nursing Board and our accreditors have been given, will complement our two existing online nursing programs and also be a wonderful addition to the School of Health Professions and, as I said, to the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Mr. Oberholtz, Rick, has also promised to help fund the building of an on-campus simulation lab with an additional gift of $100,000. I promised everybody, and particularly our guest, that I would be brief. So I'm going to follow through on that promise at least. So on behalf of the university, faculty and staff, trustees, but the Sisters of Providence, and I want to think into the future, all future patients who will be healed and restored by the graduates of this proposed program, to sincerely thank you for your generosity. Just a brief word of thanks also to Ron Dorn, our interim CFO, and Matt Redinger, our provost, for their help in the conversations that have led to this day and this wonderful gift. In the tradition of the sisters, we can all say, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad." Now I would ask Rick to come forward and share with us some thoughts.
Good morning, and thank you, Father, Matt, and Ron. Ron's been very helpful in getting this whole thing established. Can you hear me okay? My life has been influenced tremendously by the sisters. And we were just talking earlier today on how one very special sister influenced my life just on happiness. Although I turned 72 this summer, I've had a work history of where I've never had to feel like it was difficult. I was always happy and joyful in going to work. I found the goodness in everything I did. And it wasn't until recently I really identified who that sister was that kind of instilled those thoughts in my mind. There were times I'd go to work, and nursing can be very difficult. Most of my career has been spent in transplant. We did livers, kidneys, and pancreas, but it can be very difficult. But the nice thing of it was, I never felt like I had to go to work one day in my life. I enjoyed every day of it, even with the difficult days. So, I believe in paying things forward. I have a lot to be grateful for. I've made a lot of the values I've been taught. I've had a great education, and it started with the sisters. So I need to thank them, but I want to pay this forward at the same time. So the best thing I can do, that I can think I can do anyway, is to create this endowment for the University of Providence as a thank you to the sisters for the legacy they have left us, not just here in Great Falls, all across the Northwest. I was up in Anchorage, and what did I see there? And it made me very proud, but Providence Medical Center. Their arms reached way up there, all through Oregon, Washington, and elsewhere and beyond. An amazing group of women, starting back in the 1800s. I knew them in the 50s and 60s, but amazing. And we have this beautiful campus, this wonderful university, because of them. So, thanking them is one thing, but let's pay it forward. So, the donations that I'm making is one way to do that. Another way to pay this forward is just by service, what we do for one another. And a lot of times, for example, it can be just little things, but it can change a person's day. If I'm in Starbucks before the pandemic and I'm getting a latte, I'll buy another latte for the person behind me. Do I know who they are? No. Doesn't matter. But it changes that person's day. If I'm driving, commuting to the San Francisco, and I'm coming across the Golden Gate Bridge, I'll pay my toll in the olden days, and I'll pay the toll for someone behind me. Will I ever see them? No, it doesn't matter. We're just paying things forward. So those are just little things that we can do in our everyday life. But the nice thing is, I'm in an opportunity here to give something a little bit more. So I'd like to add one more donation. Excuse me, one more donation. I would like the board of directors, not the staff, not the students, the board of directors, to pick a month. Let's say it's the month of June, or they could have July, and do a fundraising by the board. And I will match the first $100,000 of what they raise. So they have 30 days, and their first $100,000 that they raise, I will match that. So that's our challenge for today, and that's just another way for all of us to pay it forward. And it's going to a very good cause. And I think I've covered everything, unless there's another question or. We're okay. I'm told we're okay. Thank you very much, and just pay it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Providence family, for joining us this morning, and thank you, Mr. Oberholtz.